Come along, rise and shine. Come along and rise and shine. Come on and shine. Come along and ride on a life walker Johnny. Life walker Johnny. Yeah. Come along and ride on a life walker Johnny.
How to protect your energy. And again, we subtitled this Tips for Empaths. So I'm going to give you a take on this or a perspective on it that's probably not going to be the most popular one. So if you want to let any of your friends know that are empaths and that struggle with needing protection or struggle with something like this, you go out into a crowded space and you are feeling the energy of everybody. Not only are you feeling everybody's energy, not only are you feeling everybody's energy, um, but you are also kind of taking it all in. And have you been to? Now I know we're kind of coming out of the Ronas, and the Omarions are getting around, and so not that Omarion, yeah, shout out to Omarion. Not that I'm saying that Omarion got around. I don't know personally. The young man was never in my circle, so I would have no way of knowing. So, but we're just using the code word Omarion for the current variant. So the Omarions are going around, the Omais and Omis, and but people are starting to get back to some degree or another back to normal, back to what we were before. And so we're going out to restaurants. Some of us are going to other large venues, concerts and things. We never really stopped going to the grocery store. At least I didn't. So things are getting normal. Okay, normal. We do have some comments again for those that are listening later on. This is a replay of a live broadcast. It was on YouTube and on Facebook. And so we've got Michelle Maples saying that she can't wait. Struggling empath here who is an essential worker. So that's a whole nother situation, right? Where you are an essential worker or where you are working in food service or at a store or anything, and you're just around people all the time. Now, being an empath and a lot of different people with a lot of different energies and just the things, right? They come and they enter in, and there's things happening in their lives. And you being an empath, and a lot of you, if you're listening to me, especially if you're listening to this episode, you're probably somewhat of an empathic healer, or you're a type of person that really loves to help other people, and you seek to help people feel better, and so on and so forth, right? So even if you haven't discovered that you're an empathic healer yet, hang out with us for a little while longer on this podcast and or on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, and I guarantee you, pretty soon you'll figure out that that's exactly what's going on. So I get the question a lot, and the question even kind of came up today, and in the Reiki attunement, and although I teach on it, I answered the question anyway, but I get the question a lot. How do you protect yourself? Or I hear the statement a lot by a lot of empaths. I'm out there, Elise, and I can't stay out very long. And then my question is why? I'm like, really? Why not? Because I'm talking about going here, going there, doing this, doing that. And they're like, it's just all the energies. Like I can feel everybody's energy everywhere. And for some, this is even not just in person, but for some, it's even online. So this is keeping some of in social media. This is keeping some healers, teachers, people with heart-centered businesses, coaches, right? Any type of transformer, type of an individual, transformational type of coach or whatnot. Especially if they're in the spiritual space, I hear often, I can't do social media. I can't do social media. Now, shout out to my Light Workers Business Accelerator program that was the Practical Light Worker, or a portion of the Practical Light Worker. Part of that Business Accelerator program, I think I'm going to start calling it a reprogram and not just a program. I don't want to see that anywhere else, by the way. So, all shout out to all my coaches, transformational coaches, whomever, mindset folks. I don't want to see y'all calling yourself a reprogram. But I think I'm going to call this a reprogram, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm helping you reprogram um, yourself so that your third dimensional self actually operates and is in alignment with your higher self. Now back to the empath. I hear this a lot from coaches and anyone else that's out here, readers, Reiki healers, whomever, can't do social media. Why? All this energy that's on social media, I can't handle it. It's too much. I don't want to deal with it. It's just ridiculous. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I find um, a lot of social media enjoyable in this regard. On a personal level, yeah, I mean, I've reined it back. Less because of the impact of the energy on my psyche and my soul, if you will, and more about the I get wrapped up in it to the point where I've got to answer every tweet. I've got to rebut every Facebook post caption or whatever comment. I got to be out here windmilling for my favorite people that are being attacked. It's stuff like that, right? It's all stuff like that. So my situation, my thing is that I will want to, that Aries moon in me just kicks up. That Aries moon, coupled with the protective Cancerian mama bear, let me fight your battle, and then the sometimes stubborn Capricorn rising goat. That doesn't tend to be a really good combination. Sometimes, if I really get riled up about something. But underlying all that, I have a very empathic energy, right? That's who I am. But when I hear from folks, healers, whatnot, empaths in general, I can't even be on social media. We have a problem then, right? And what I hear a lot of in order to solve that problem is, and all of these things are great. So I don't want anyone to get, upset, uptight, or say I'm committing heresy right now, because I'm not. All these things do work. I'm going to list off some of the things I'm sure you've probably already heard. So, again, if you want to go get your friends, and let them know where we're at and what we're doing, here we go. Let me try to. Hey guys. Okay, good. Let them know what we're doing, and you're gonna get my take on this and what I found that works. Tell them to come on over. What I hear a lot of is carrying like grounding or protective stones, right? Tiger's eye, um, black obsidian, black tourmaline, hematite. Believe it or not, amethyst is actually a very good psychic protection stone. A lot of people overlook that one because we think of its more benevolent properties rather than protective. So let's say do that, right? If you're a healer, they'll say, okay, sage yourself before you leave. Sage yourself after, immediately. They'll say, well, you got to put your defenses up. Well, what do you mean by that? That shields up kind of thing. I'm sure most of you have seen some sort of sci-fi picture or movie, I should say. Sounds so old. Movie or TV show, especially if you're like a Trekkie or something. Um, you know, whichever captain, take your pick, Picard or whomever. Um, you could tell Picard was one of my favorites. Anyway, so Picard saying, shields up, right? Um, So there's this concept of you put your psychic shields up, right? Before you leave out of your house or before you get out of your car or whatever the case is. So, and why is this? So that you can resist all of these energies. They all kind of bounce off of you, off this invisible shield that you've put up, right? This energetic shield. I'm not saying it doesn't work, guys. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you can't ask for to walk through this store or go to this restaurant or go onto this social media page and have the white light of protection, come down around you as a column and envelop you from head to toe, from the cosmos down to the Earth star, down to Mother Gaia, and protect you as you go through this store. Fred Hammond, y'all might, some of y'all might remember Fred Hammond, right? Jesus, be a fence all around me every day, right? Jesus, I want you to protect me as I travel along the way. I know you can, yes, Lord. I know you will, yes, Lord. Fight my battles if I keep still, right? Y'all remember the song? I know I'm not the only one. So, some people take holy water. I see in the chats, people are like using Florida water at the bottom of their feet, their heart, their forehead, and neck. I'm not saying none of that works. I'm saying there's a better way. And this is my opinion. Okay. Everything that is expressed today, right, is opinion and interpretation. If you don't like it, I mean, there's nothing I can do about that. I'm so sorry. I get it. But but hear me out at least. Give me that. Give me that at least to hear me out. Now, I'm saying to you that doing all of these things works, but when you really think about how energy and creation and manifestation works, it's only going to work to a point. And I'll tell you why. Manifestation works, creation works through positive affirmation. Now, you can create, of course, negativity by exuding and exhibiting and emoting or emitting negative emotion, putting negative energy in motion. You could certainly do that. And we do that a lot. And that's why we have to reprogram ourselves, right? To transform and transfigure that energy and then reintegrate it and uplift ourselves so that we are not basing our lives based in lower vibrational, even third dimensional energy, but instead in higher vibrational, creative, positive, light energy, right? Even on a third dimensional level. We can either be using dense light or dense shadow. But lower vibrational energy is just denser than higher vibrational. That is kind of like steam and ice. If you want to think of it this way, low vibrational is ice, and then you go to liquid, which would be like in your heart chakra, that kind of area, throat chakra, fluid. And by the time you get to your crown chakra, it's steam. And in fact, it then evaporates and you just kind of becomes invisible. So I want you to apply that same concept then to energy protection. Even the term energy protection denotes a defensive stance to what should be a positive reality or a positive outcome, or an offensive, meaning you're on the offense outcome, rather than defense, meaning you're defending yourself in order to get a positive outcome. Right? So what happens when we emote negative energy? Right? what happens? We create a world for ourselves that we don't necessarily want. Right? We actually then attract in more energy when we strive, and I mean strive, when we work so hard to protect ourselves. And you might say, well, Lise, it's not really a whole lot of work to carry around a crystal or to anoint myself with oil or water or sage myself before I leave or call on my angels. No, it's not per se. But you are literally expending your energy. You're putting your faith in these things or these energies. Not saying they don't work. But I'm going to propose to you, what if you took that same energy? Keep that same energy, right? What if you took that same energy and instead, in your own quiet time, built yourself up so that your auric field was inflated like a balloon? What if instead of trying to figure out what types of fields or shields you're going to need today, and hope you got the right crystal and that you called on the right angel before you entered into the building or onto the website or into the online chat space? What if instead of that, you took the time to analyze, to think about what are the energies that you most often run into when you're out and about? And why are those energies the ones that you end up attracting and you end up somehow interacting and picking up the most? I think if we all thought about it, like if I think about it before, there would be certain energies that when I would go out would annoy the absolute loving dog mess out of me. I mean, absolutely. If oh gosh, and I was a youth pastor. I would get so annoyed with bratty teenagers, sassy teenagers, which is crazy because I actually enjoy teenagers the most. Out of any range of development, childhood development, I actually enjoy the teenage years the most. Lisa, you're nuts. No, I'm not. You know why? Because I can have a cognitive, intelligent discussion with a teenager and watch their wheels turn as we're walking down this path of what is their world point of view, what is their personal point of view, how are they navigating this thing called life. They're in this really interesting quincux, if you will, between childhood and adulthood, or what we assign as adulthood, which really ain't quite fully fledgedly adult yet, but that's another discussion. But they're in this really interesting place of development, and I can have these conversations, and it's awesome. I really enjoy it because they will challenge you. They will challenge you on, why do you believe what you believe, right? They'll challenge you on that. And I love that. I absolutely love that. But when I'm in the grocery store or out in a mall or something, and there's sassy teenagers that feel like they own the entire planet, and you are just an insignificant adult that is still probably paying for their education through your property taxes, let me tell you something. I get triggered. I get triggered. And I don't feel it so much anymore, but I used to feel that energy a mile away. So I want you to think about what energies it is that you tend to feel the most first. Okay. Because we're going to go through an exercise with that. If you can identify kind of what group of energies you feel the most, And I want you to pare it down, niche it down. I even saw someone in the chat say fear-based energies. Okay, fear-based of what? Is it just a general fear, or is it a kind of a group of fears, right? Um, it could be fears of the Ronas and Omarions. It could be fears of economic collapse. It could be fears of just general. I'm afraid of my own shadow and everything that comes with being human at this point, because I've had 2 years being told I need to be afraid of all human beings. It could be anything, right? So I want you to kind of identify those fears, yeah? And then what I want you to do is, in your quiet time, I want you to go within yourself and ask for assistance in not only understanding where this came from, right? But what chakra is it residing in the most? Like, start to feel into it. And if it's something you really can't, get kind of going yourself, we'll give you ways for you to work with one of the healers that's been certified through Lightworker Academy or the School of Elena, or we can recommend people or whatnot. But find someone that you trust that you can work with then on an energetic trauma level. And this is why I'm saying to do that. These types of things will point to a root. We're talking about how to protect your energy right now. And too often we do all of these external things to protect our energy, quote unquote, when really the work should be being done internally. Why are we doing all this internal work all the time, but we give this part away again? We give this power away. And let me tell you something. I'm not saying that the angels aren't powerful. Of course they are. But why are you giving away out to an entity outside of you? Because let's all be real, Archangel Michael is not physically residing in you. There may be some people on this earth who are incarnations of Archangel Michael, or Uriel, or Gabriel, or Raphael, or Ariel, or Metatron. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. Probably just lost about 20 subscribers right there. But what I am saying is that that's not all of us. So why are we giving that power away? We've worked as a community so hard to get the word out that, guess what? The power resides within you as an aspect of source, right? As an aspect of the all, of creator. The power resides within you. The Christ consciousness resides within you. And please don't think that's heretical. You need only go to the Bible to talk to where, the Bible talks about the Holy Spirit, the indwelling of the Holy Spirit. Christ, what is it? I used to quote this all the time. Christ, the hope of glory that lives within me. In him I move, breathe, live. If that's true, you abide in, and that consciousness abides within you, then that consciousness abides within you. The energy abides within you. Again, why are we giving away our power to external forces and or concepts when this is the age of Aquarius and we're supposed to be bringing that back home? That's supposed to be within. We're not supposed to be looking outside of ourselves for a salvation or for atonement to reach at -1 -ment. Atonement, break it down, at one ment. Atonement only means becoming one again, right? Reunification, at one ment, becoming unified within oneself to understand that one is the one. All right? Do you understand what I'm saying? So, but in order to protect we've come so far with a lot of these concepts, but we're so quick to put our faith and energy into a crystal, into an oil, into a water, into a sage, into an angel, into a guide, and not quick enough to look within to see, why is it affecting you? Because the reality is, dear empath, if you can get to the point where you are viewing all energy from a zone of neutrality, it doesn't affect you. it doesn't affect you. And I will say to nearly the same degree. It doesn't. Why? Because that's the place of healing and mastery, is the place of neutrality where you can look at something, sense something, feel something, and you're not letting it deep within. You're just observing it and like, okay, do I feel like dealing with this right now? Or really is it something I really don't? Yeah, I'm going to take a hard pass on that. Like, you get to choose then. How to protect your energy, tips for an empath. So first, identify what energies, as you're out and about, seem to plague you the most. Second, I want you to bring that back home with you, and in your quiet time and in your meditation time. Please tell me you meditate. Please tell me you meditate. In your meditation time, in your self-care time, I want you, now is the time for you to interact with your guides and the angels and source. Now's the time. Now's the time for you to make a declaration. Hey guys, I've noticed this is bothering me. I'm going to boop turn that third dimensional volume down for a minute and boop turn that higher consciousness volume up for a minute. And I am going to now go within just to make sure that I am hearing correctly, that I am going to gain an understanding of why this energy bugs the bejeebers out of me. What inside of me is sending out the bat signal that says, doo 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 doo, hey, I'm here. Na 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 na, right? I'm here. I, I'm here. This is unhealed. This is unhealed. However, I'm an empath, so I can feel it and I can help you. Right? Most fears are false evidence appearing real. Okay? Guys, I see that there's a whole lot of stuff going on here in the chat. Yeah, this is a live stream, but guys, listen, we're not gonna, what I don't want anyone to do, whether this is in the chat or in your day-to-day lives, let's not be in competition about how much one has struggled and how much the other one has struggled. This is not the struggle Olympics. This isn't I have the most narcissists in the world. I'm more narcissists in my family than you do, right? You know, that this is a great place for us to chat about it. But I want you to take some of this information in, okay? Take some of this in because it's going to help you deal with even the household energies as an empath, all right? So, how to protect your energy no matter where you're at. So, you're sending out this energy all the time. Right? So, but what I want you to do is take those moments and be able to say, hey, why? Where did I first learn that it was okay for me to subject myself to this energy? When? And start allowing the replay. This is where your records, right? This is where your brain actually does come in handy. I mean, it does it on a regular basis, but that tape recorder, that DVR that you have, it's called a brain, that this comes in great handy right now because now you can push pause, rewind, and what? Play. And you can actually play, right? How in the world this came about. Where you learned that it was okay for someone to put off on you the fact that they're having a freaking temper tantrum and they want their way and no way in their ways, that it's just their way or the highway, and you have to subject yourself to being the footstool and the doormat and the servant in order to do that. Somewhere we learn that. I want you to find that somewhere, because what I see happen, like, I mean, like literally sometimes I get really like weirded out, or I get like funky and upset or whatever. I'm just like, ugh, let me get away from this. If I see like a controlling, it could be a child trying to control a mother. It could be a husband or significant other trying to control the other, right? It could be a woman trying to control a man, like her significant other or her husband. Like whenever I see that controlling spirit, I'm like, bleh, I can't handle it. And so, but I had to deal with A, myself having a controlling spirit, and B, where did that come from? Oh, gee, James Horace Brewer, the senior, the second, I almost said. Senior. Got that straight from him. And maybe a teach from my dear mother, but we're not gonna call her name out because otherwise she gonna call me up, cuss me out, and But anyway, in a good Christian way. But anyway, a little bit, a wee bit, right? So I want you to find these things out, and as you're finding these things out, dig those roots up. How to protect your energy? Dig those roots up. Let's get some healing going on. Let's get some healing going on. Let's get some honest to goodness, open minded looks at where you're at. At where you're at and how we got here. Let's take some responsibility for our quote unquote protection, and let's do this in a positive manner, in a manner in which we're becoming self healed. Because the more you become self healed, the stronger your force field gets. The naturally stronger your force field gets, the naturally stronger your auric field gets. And I'm going to use those two terms interchangeably. It's natural then. And guess what? It's flipping impenetrable. It really is impenetrable. Now, I'm not gonna say that every once in a while something doesn't come in. Like I'd be lying to you if I told you that every time I went somewhere, 100% of the time, I don't feel like energies around me. Of course I do. I am a very strong empath and psychic and all of these things, right? Intuitive, all of these things. However, I'm not, oh gosh, okay, I don't want to say this the wrong way, guys. Don't get upset with me. But it doesn't overwhelm me to the point that I can't handle it. Because I don't allow it to. I choose to live my life in a way, in a space, in a place of neutrality, where I can call a thing, not get upset by it, be very matter of fact about it, and go on about my business. I don't have to, guess what? Yeah, I'm an empath, an empathic healer. Yeah, I'm an intuitive. Yeah. Okay, that's great. Awesome. Wonderful. Fabulous. I can see in the future. I can see in the past. I can see if you're, I can see a whole lot of stuff. I can see, generational curses and contracts and all kinds of stuff. I see a lot of stuff all the time. But I don't set my intention to leave myself wide open every time I walk out of the house so that I pick up everybody's freaking eternal life and what they need to do right now. I'd be a walking, blunt, blubbering mess if I did that. That doesn't mean I turn it off either. It is there, but I know I walk out of the house in a space of healedness. And why do I talk about walking out of the house in the space of healedness? Because when you are walking out of that house in the space of healedness, and I'm not saying 100%, none of us are 100% healed, but I mean, if we can get to 75, 80, even 90%, man, we're doing a great job. So why are we walking in 100% in healedness? Because when I walk out of the house in a healed state of being, I walk out of the house not feeling the need to fix another human being. Because empath, hello, empath. What's happening is you are walking out of that house looking for someone else to heal. Because you haven't done the work on yourself enough. Because you haven't done it. That's okay. Most of us haven't. It's all right. I get it. We've all been there. I've been there. How to protect your energy? You protect your energy by healing. And you continue that protection by continuing to do a self-examination, by continuing to do self-assessment, by continuing. Let me tell you something. If I pop off somewhere, I do. She still is here. Okay, that side of me. I used to have a name for her. I'm not going to tell y'all that name. It's kind of like Candyman or Beetlejuice. I don't say that name. I don't call her up, but she's here still. Now I put her on the shelf, right? She's on the shelf. She's locked away a little bit, right? Mostly. I don't need her that often, but every once in a while she pops out and I pop off. And usually people ain't ready for that because they're used to happy go lucky, everything is fine, love and light Lisa. They used to the other one. Okay. So, but I don't like doing that. So when I do it, I really have to compose myself then. And then I got to sit here and say, man, why did you do that, girl? I have to self examine. Where was that in there in me that affected it, that got me off my square that bad? Or I cry. Like, let's say just I get really emotional about something all of a sudden, and that emotional sadness part, kicks in. I'm like, why am I so affected by this? I have to it can go any way. Why did I feel a need to help this person in this fashion? I still do it sometimes. I'm not perfect. But how to protect your energy? But my energy remains protected by and large because of the fact that I walk out of the house healed and not looking for someone to heal to make myself feel better. First of all. Second of all, I'm not walking out of the house feeling like I need to protect myself and I need to be on the defense, because the minute you're on the defense about something, the minute you're worried about something, how to protect your energy, the minute that you are concerned that something may not happen, that is when you push that something further away from you as far as manifesting it. We already know this for anything good, positive, and great. Why don't we know this for anything else? Why do we act like that doesn't matter? So if you want to protect your energy, or you want to be able to walk outside and walk anywhere, walk in your own home and not be as bombarded and irritated and with everything that's going around you, well, instead of walls up, don't come near me. I've got a stick of sage and I'll use it. Right? I have a selenite knife and I'll use it. Don't come closer. You bad spirit, you. Right? So instead of that, right? Because you know what you're doing? You're basically, first of all, you're setting out this energy saying, I want you to come closer. Please come to me. Please come to me, because this is an area I'm not healed in. And then you're also telling the universe, I don't trust myself enough to be able to resist the urge to fall into that age old trap of trying to heal this person that doesn't really want to be healed. They just want to be an energetic vampire and suck the energy out of me. Right? I got my lightsaber. Actually, I do have my lightsaber. Yeah. Right? I'm not afraid to use it. So, but that's what you're doing. You're telling the universe you don't trust yourself to not be able to actually resist the urge to go in there and let me fix you. And you're like, but Lisa, I don't want to fix everybody. Oh, so you would rather be a martyr? Because can I be super honest right now? I didn't mean to make you almost. I have people that are cooking and they're almost burning themselves. Can I be real honest with you right now? Some of y'all are martyrs. Some of you all are martyrs. Joan of Arc, martyrs. Some of you all will nail yourself to that cross, so to speak, over and over and over and over again. Let's just keep it a buck. You will. Some of y'all will. And I do run into that quite a bit when it's the same thing over and over again. All around the world, the same song, right? And it's the same cycle over and over again. It keeps playing out. Now, some people I can help bring out, and you'll listen to what I'm saying today, and you'll say, "Oh, yep, how I protect my own energy. I actually empower myself. I actually take my power back. That's how I protect my energy. I actually do my healing. That's how I protect my energy. I actually don't say I've just done my shadow work, but at least I've done all my shadow work. What are you talking about? No, 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 no. I worked on my daddy issues and my mommy issues and the dad issue and the other issue. I worked all that stuff out. We're great. This is a constant thing. This needs to be a something that you do all the time. Don't tell me you worked it out so we're all fine. It is a constant thing. I have to always do the same thing. And just to search myself and just to make sure that I don't allow these things to really fester, or actually I just want to grow, to be honest with you. So, what's the next area of growth? And it just becomes a way of life. But there are some people that are going to hear this message, and you might try to put it into play. But I'm going to ask some of y'all to really examine yourself, and are you perpetuating the same cycle? Are you perpetuating that? Do you like being the martyr? Do you like being the martyr? And I hope, it is my hope and my prayer, and this is tough love, right? That's why I said this is not going to be a very popular opinion, but I will say that I don't have to carry around stuff if I don't want to. I can walk into a restaurant, into a store. I can walk into a party. I can go to a fair. I could be around crowds and crowds and crowds of people. It doesn't bother me. I could be on social media. I get irritated a little bit sometimes, but most of the time I'm just like, "Ugh, all right, fine." And I just get on there to do what I'm supposed to do. And we'll talk about being safe on social media, or social media for entrepreneurs and healers another time, probably more so on my Instagram. But I want you to look at it, and you don't have to answer. You don't put nothing in the chat. I don't want any of that. I don't need your public commentary, right? I don't want that. But I want you to look at yourself, and I want you to really think. I want you to really ask and be open for the honest to God truth. Do you actually deep down enjoy being a martyr? That's not healthy. That's what I would actually tend to call an empathic narcissist, because we get addicted to other people's empathy, and we get addicted to other people's, to this perpetual wound that is always needing to be healed. We don't know any different, so we live in that perpetually, forever and ever and ever. forever and ever, ever and ever, ever and ever, always. Right? So that's a tough one. That's bonus for the martyr. How you're going to protect your energy is you're going to get real with yourself. And you're going to say, God dang it, that's what I've been walking around doing. I don't know any different, so the devil I know is better than the devil I don't. Only I can tell you on the other side, my dear martyrs, my dear empathic narcissists, not a bad thing, guys. I mean, it kind of is, but I'm not not in the true narcissistic sense of the term. Because remember, empaths and narcissists are they're different sides of the same coin. But my dear empathic narcissist, you can get healing. Just look inside yourself. All right. And start doing the work and just start uh recognizing this is what's going on. Okay. Now, how to protect your energy. So we've talked about this now. Identify what triggers you the most right now. Come back home and recenter and regroup and figure out when it started, why it started, and how it really triggers you, and then begin to heal that, right? Balance it, forgive, move on, right? Not just move on, but forgive, transmute, reintegrate that energy back in so that when you go back out, what happens is it's not that you're raising the shields, but your force field is strong. Your auric game is strong. And when your auric game is strong, when your aura is inflated, not your ego, not your head, your auric game is filled and it's blown up, inflated like a big balloon. It's this little invisible shield that you walk around in all the time. And then there's this little kind of porous, if you will, outer shield where people's energy kind of can come in and you kind of begin to have this ability to say, do I really feel like flipping dealing with that right now? And guess what? If you don't, guess what gets to happen? Ding, 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 ding. You just reject it. Your shield will do it for you. Your field, your auric field will do it for you. Why? Because what you've been doing then throughout this transformational period is you've been elevating your vibrational set point. You've been elevating yourself, you've been building yourself up. And because you've been building yourself up, your higher dimensional self is now in charge. When your higher dimensional self is in charge, you could be walking around Costco trying to avoid purchasing those really delicious croissants, muffins. Don't act like y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The sweet rolls. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't play with me. Thank you, Shiny. Thank you, Shiny. Peer character stretching. What is this? Peer stretching? Oh, stretching the arm. Okay, thank you. It's a sticker. I couldn't see it. Thanks for the sticker. So y'all know what I'm talking about. So you could be walking up and down them aisles because you know what they do. They do this dirty in my Costco. Y'all have to tell me if they do y'all dirty like this in y'all Costco. Leave me a comment below. Do they do all this dirty where they have all the good vegetables and everything like that, all the good stuff for you, right? The vegetables, the fruits, everything right there. And then as you're coming away from that little corner, first of all, the alcohol is on one side of that, all the vegetables. Okay. And then you got the vegetables, the healthy stuff. And then you come out of there, you got to go down past usually like a meat counter or something like that, And here's all the sweets and the breads and the cakes and the pies and the cookies and the muffins. That's bogus. That's just wrong. I'm just saying, Costco, y'all dirty. Do I have something against Sam's Club? Actually, well, not that I have anything against Sam's Club. We might have one where I live, maybe still. And I never really shopped there much anyway. I kind of preferred Costco just for a number of different reasons. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, so you could be going down through that aisle there, right? And you trying to you're just trying to fight that 3D feeling of the sweet rolls and the danishes. And the last thing you need to be doing is dealing with all the other energies that are around you. So when your auric field is inflated, not your ego, your auric field is inflated to the point where things just kind of bounce off you, your higher self now is actually filtering out for you what's necessary for you to deal with or not. And then if it's something that you should deal with, an energy you should deal with, then it kind of you can let it into your auric field, but it doesn't attach to anything because guess what? It's inflated and you're not looking to create some very interesting, um, shall we say, attachment or create another chord because, right? Because that energy has been what? Transmuted, transformed, and reintegrated. So you can kind of like triage that energy, look at that energy, be like, all right, fine, I'll entertain it. And then you send it, you kind of clean up a little bit and send it back out. But then you're able to go to that person and kind of deal with them on an authentic level rather than coming at them from being hurt or wanting to be a martyr. So the best defense is actually an offense. How to protect your energy, empath? Tip, ding, 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 raise your vibrational set point. Look and see what triggers you. This is going to give you an excellent point of view, an excellent place to start on as far as shadow work, as far as revisiting your shadow work, as far as revisiting some of those things that, maybe you did tear up the roots, but there might be something residual. Usually there is, especially if it's a root, right? And maybe you've never even examined your roots because you've been too busy just trying to fight everything off. But don't protect yourself by putting up negative energy because what that does is it tells the universe that you don't trust yourself. Instead, empower yourself to be able to go in and do this healing work or work with an energy healer to help you, a shaman, an energy healer of some other sort, intuitive, whatever, Reiki, that sort of thing. Crystals, NLP, work with a healer in order to then raise your vibrational set point, inflate your auric field so it's its own natural barrier and it's positive and it works. I swear to you, it works. I don't get so bent out of shape. And honestly, I can talk about all of the stuff, all the carbs. I can talk about these things like when something just kind of like irritates me a little bit, right? I can actually discuss it without feeling like I'm not necessarily angry. I'm very matter of fact about it, but I'm not angry because I'm coming at it from a place of neutrality and I don't feel the need to heal everyone. All right. So at this point, thanks guys for listening. We're going to keep this open for just a little while longer, where we are going to be able to have conversation here today. However, this is also the point where I'm going to end this part of the broadcast. So thank you guys for listening to this podcast. We so very, very much appreciate it. Peace, love, blessings, and joy be unto you today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. Namaste. Bye-bye.